Would any of you, and maybe specifically Ms. Radcliffe or Dr. Neal, speak to the bureaucratic or regulatory burdens faced in starting or conducting clinical trials? And when was the last time that we, as a nation or Congress, addressed the regulatory framework which governs how clinical trials are conducted? And do you think it's time for an update, given new technologies we can now bring to bear?
Yes, I do think that this is an important issue, as I said previously, which is impacting the speed of development and its cost, especially, and also its effectiveness. So I do think this is worth a re-examination. I think there are a lot of things that we could potentially do at the statutory level, and here I'm thinking about standardized contracts for investigators, institutional review boards, safety monitoring boards, which could be set up at the national or regional level rather than the inefficiencies of having to establish these at every institution, and not having people who are necessarily as professionally qualified and experienced in monitoring these types of studies as they could be as examples. And I think that working through public-private partnerships or possibly authorizing additional money through the NIH to allow these trial networks to be established would also be a great help.
Yes, I recommend Dr. Neal's testimony as a fairly comprehensive list of some of the things that could be done to expedite clinical trials. For bio specifically, we have launched an initiative to look at 4 things. One is central IRBs. That is to streamline the review of protocols and when they extend over multiple academic centers. The qualification process for drug development tools such as biomarkers, and we've talked a little bit about that earlier in this hearing. Clinical trial networks, one of the great advantages of establishing clinical trial networks is to speed up the patient recruitment process, which today is very much longer than it has been in the past. And so we could really make great inroads to addressing that issue. And finally, adopting a risk-based approach to clinical trial monitoring using centralized monitoring mechanisms. So those are 4 areas where we really want to make some progress at Bio over the coming years.
Thank you, thank you. Like many, I've been following the story of an innovative company, 23andMe, which developed a DNA testing kit that allows individuals to see which diseases or conditions they may have a predisposition to. And it seems to me that alerting individuals that they are more likely to have a certain disease or condition is a good thing. And it could be something that aids the development of new and innovative cures. For example, the genetic makeup of an individual who carries the gene for Huntington's disease but does not suffer from the symptoms could be analyzed to determine what is his specific biology that stunts the development of that awful disease. So the question, are products like this making a major step towards personalized medicine and tailor-made cures? And what does it mean for millions of people to be able to have crowdsource their genetic information? Anyone that may want to answer.
I'll answer. We are, in the biotechnology industry, we are extremely excited about the potential for the use of genetic information in the design of clinical trials, in the expediting of those clinical trials, and also in healthcare delivery to help physicians and patients understand the best course of action. I think it's also important to understand, though, that information needs to be delivered in a way that enables the best decision-making by patients. A very specific example is that a patient might receive information about a risk of a certain type of cancer and take action on that in a way that really would be detrimental to that person's health. And so as all of this wonderful information comes out and as it's made available more broadly, we also have to put a great deal of thought toward the context for delivering that health information in a way that is helpful and not harmful.
And then would you speak to the role that FDA is playing in the process, and has FDA promoted the development of these kinds of diagnostic tests? Is the FDA approval process adequately equipped to consider these types of products?
This is an area where Bio has worked for a long time with FDA. The products that are coming out are so novel and so different from those that have been reviewed by FDA in the past that they really require a different kind of scrutiny and different expertise. FDA has done a lot to improve that regulatory process and to ensure that it has the expertise internally to manage these new technologies. I think that in the future there will be a need for FDA to continue evolving to make sure that it's keeping up with the pace of scientific advances.
Thank you, and I too want to thank the panel and for everyone for participating. I am very excited about this 21st Century Cures initiative, like everyone. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chair,